Hey everyone, it's Melinda with Tailored and Teal. This video is about what sold on Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay from September 16th through September 30th of 2023. Well, I was hoping that September, almost into Q4, sales would start to pick up a little more, but unfortunately, they really haven't. It's been a really tough couple of months financially for me, and I'm sure for lots of you out there. If you're new or recently just following me, I do have 2 part-time jobs. I am an adjustment specialist for a bank. That is my normal 8 to 2 Monday through Friday job. And then after that, at nighttime and on the weekends, I do reselling work. For the first couple of years of reselling, I'd say the first 2 to 3 years, I was making good money, making lots of savings in my business savings account. But the past 2 years has been very, very tough. And unfortunately, my business savings is depleting very fast. I originally started this business to kind of make some extra money, and then I decided I kind of wanted to do it a little bit more seriously. So that's why I went from a full-time position to a part-time position in my corporate job, and that's really hurting me now. I know that the online market is a little bit different than it was several years ago due to a lot of things. So I just wanted to kind of give like a moment of reality and let you know that if you are struggling, you are not alone. There are some months where I am concerned as to where money is going to come from to pay my bills. I try to be as frugal as possible, but times are tough. Things have gone up in prices. So just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of real reseller talk and know that you aren't alone. If your business is thriving, congratulations, good for you. Don't change anything, keep doing what you're doing, but I am on the struggle bus over here. So let's get into what I did sell. I had 2 sales on Mercari. First up was a vintage 9-inch Gregorian copper hammered succulent floral tray with handles. This had like a very subtle succulent pattern kind of hammered into it. A lot of people were just calling it a floral pattern, but to me, it looked like one of those huge succulents that have the petals that kind of stick out, almost like a lotus flower. So I did put that in my listing. This sold for $23, and it didn't take very long for it to sell, maybe about a month or 2. It did have to go via UPS because it was over a pound, not because of the tray itself, but just because of the dimensions. It needed to go in a wider box, but the customer paid for the shipping as well. And then the next and last sale on Mercari was a vintage bright red elastic stretch round textured swirl buckle belt. This is a classic belt from like the 80s to 90s that everybody wore as statement belts, super stretchy, so basically anyone could wear it. This was a free to me item given to me from my mom, and it sold for $11. So of my 2 Mercari sales, I made $34 in sales, $5.92 in fees, giving me a profit of $28.08. And my average sales price for each item that sold, because there were only 2, was $17. Now moving on to Poshmark, where I had 12 sales. The first sale on Poshmark was a pair of earrings that I got from an estate sale. They were a pair of copper green faux stone heart dangle pierced earrings. The customer sent me a $10 offer, and I accepted because my cost of goods from that estate sale was under $1.50, so I was okay with accepting that. The next sale is a bundle from a good reselling friend. I don't know if she watches the channel, but Cindy, if you do, thank you so much. You know I always appreciate you. So she bought 2 things, a pair of genuine fur earmuffs. I got these out of a thread up fun rescue box. I couldn't identify exactly what kind of fur it was. I do believe it was rabbit, but I didn't want to put that in the title just in case I wasn't correct, but it was definitely real fur. And then the other item in the bundle was a new with tags and Taylor factory velvet belt. This was in like a dark charcoal gray color. This came out of my most recent belt unboxing from shopgoodwill.com, and the 2 items sold together in the bundle for $26. The next sale is a sale that I actually had a case opened against me. Actually, I don't think that it was a case. They were just asking to return it. So it was over 2 pounds of bangle bracelets. These were for crafting, to wear, upcycling, whatever they wanted to do with it, but they were definitely in worn condition. A lot of wear and chipping to the metal. I took extensive pictures and all kinds of angles to make sure that whoever bought this knew the condition of them. This sold for $16 with no discounted shipping, and that was my full asking price. The client opened a case because I said that it was not over 2 pounds. And also there were a couple of really small bracelets that could have even been napkin rings or child bracelets that I did photograph on 2 fingers to show that they were pretty small. And she was complaining about the size of those. Depending on why the customer is opening up a case, I usually will comment in the bundle. I explained that I'm sorry that you were disappointed in your purchase, but I did photograph those smaller bracelets on my 2 fingers showing that they were smaller. And I know that it was over 2 pounds because I had to weigh it in order to cross-list it on Mercari and eBay. The customer was very nice after I explained all of those things, and she said, I'm sorry it didn't work out. And I said, no problem, we'll wait for Poshmark to give their decision. They sided with me, my earnings were released, and the customer now has these bracelets. I do feel bad that they're not happy with their purchase, but I was very thorough in my photographing and explaining that these are not in like wearable condition. So hopefully they can still get some kind of use out of those bangle bracelets. The next sale was a lot of 2 belts. These came in my most recent Shop Goodwill belt unboxing. These were nothing special. They were in good, almost like new condition. I'm pretty sure they just came from Amazon after I did a Google image search, but they actually sold in 2 hours. I sent out an offer of $11 with discounted shipping and the customer accepted. Next up is another belt. This was a Chico's bright silver tone bubble circle open work belt. This sold for $16 with no discounted shipping, which was my full asking price. Then we have a necklace from my Via Trading Amazon jewelry lot, and it was a black curb link chain stainless steel men's necklace. It sold for $11 with discounted shipping as well. Then we have a ring from my Shop Goodwill ring unboxing. This was an Ann Taylor coral round cabochon gold tone stacking ring. This sold for $12, which was my full asking price again with no discounted shipping. Next up, we have an item that I've had listed for over 3 years. I sourced it from ThredUp's outlet center. I did not know that it was a vintage Talbot's piece until I received it in the mail because unfortunately ThredUp doesn't really show you the tags, nor do they really explain that it could be a vintage piece. So I think that that's why it took a little bit longer for it to sell. It was a Talbot's modest green button front sleeveless maxi dress. I did use the keyword modest because it is longer and it's fully covered the whole body except the arms, of course. And finally, this sold for $14, and that was an offer that the customer sent to me. The next sale is a pair of BDG black super high rise twig skinny leg jeans. These were a long, I believe they were a 28 long. They sold for $20 with no discounted shipping, and that again was my full asking price. And I'm realizing as I say this, I've sold a lot of things for my full asking price, which rarely happens, but thank goodness it did this time. The next 3 sales, I participated in closet clear out. I normally don't participate in closet clear out because I have over 900 active listings. And if I were to lower all of them down for closet clear out, I'd have to relist them all or put them back to their original price. And sometimes it's just not worth it. But I was trying something new and it resulted in 3 sales. The first one was a vintage Liz Ware super high rise pleated front wide leg denim shorts, and they sold for $11 with no discounted shipping because Poshmark takes care of that discounted shipping cost. Next is another item from my Via Trading Amazon jewelry lot. It was a new silver tone engraved daughter themed thin cuff bracelet. It sold for $7 with no discounted shipping, and the engraving was on the inside and it said something along the lines of, whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, remember whose daughter you are and straighten your crown, which I thought was very sweet. And then the last item to sell was a pair of Coach shoes. These were the style name Flash, and they were in a saddle tan caramel color, and they were a pair of loafers. These were already discounted down 30%, so they sold for my full asking price after that drop down in cost of $24. So of my 12 sales on Poshmark, I had $178 in sales, $41.05 in fees, and I only gave out 2 shipping discounts this time for $4.04 total, giving me a profit of $132.91, and my average sales price for each item that sold was $14.83. And now moving on to eBay, where I had less than I did on Poshmark. I had 10 sales. The first sale was a Brooks Brothers 346 micro plaid fitted non-iron button front blouse. This was a size 12, but was definitely fitted, probably fit more like an 8 to 10. It may have also been vintage. I'm not too experienced with Brooks Brothers tags, but it had kind of a vintagey style to it. But it sold for $14.99, which was my full asking price after a 25% off discount. Next up, we have a Bobo or Bobao. I'm really not sure how you say that, but it's over here if you want to see it. It was a navy blue, dark floral, 3-length sleeve tunic blouse. It was a size 1X, and it sold for $9. Next up was a midnight blue, large, chunky faux pearl beaded rhinestone statement necklace. I thought this would be really cool to wear on like New Year's Eve or like a gala or something very fancy that you want to show off your bling. It sold for $5. I've had it listed for a very long time. Was it worth more than $5? Probably, but I was desperate that day and I've had it forever, so happy to let it go, and I still made $2.71 on it. Next up is a purse that I sourced from shopgoodwill.com. There was actually a lot of 3 of them. This is the first one to sell. It was the brand The Bridge, and it was a Firenze 1969 brown leather adjustable shoulder bag. It was made in Italy. Even though this was in used condition and it did have some scratching to it, the leather still smelt really good. The customer did have several questions regarding this purse, including if I had a certificate of authenticity, which I said to the customer, I do not. I purchased this from a secondhand website. I wasn't really selling it for a lot of money either, so a certificate of authenticity didn't really matter. So we went back and forth on a price. Finally, we settled on $30. Next is a new with tags Denim and Supply Ralph Lauren black Phoenix or Eagle print. It had a lace detail on the back. It was a size medium, and it sold for $16.49. Next is a new with tags Victoria's Secret the flannel PJ set. So this had elastic waist pants and also a button front collared long sleeve shirt. It was a pink and black plaid. It was a size extra large long, and this came out of a thread up fun box, and it sold for $26.24. Next is another item from my Via Trading Amazon jewelry lot. This was a new faux pearl L-shaped initial monogram gold tone chain link necklace. It did come with its own gift box, and it sold for $7. Next up is an item that had a lot of interest on all 3 platforms, but no one would budge when I sent out offers. So I am happy that it finally sold. It was a Ralph Lauren monogram red and white striped sleep shirt or nightgown. It was in really nice condition, and it sold for $14.24. And I picked this up at one of my local Salvation Armies. Then we have a lot of 11 silver tone keychains. These had little dangles on them that were motorcycles, angel wings, and also palm trees. And I said that they could be used for crafting or as wholesale, like if you had a boutique or a store and you wanted to sell them there. And they sold for $7.50. And then the last item was a bright gold tone mesh draped metal snake chain belt that was layered, and it was adjustable. This belt was unbranded, but it felt really nice, like it should have been branded. And it sold for my full asking price after my 25% off, which was $14.99. So of my 10 eBay sales, I had $145.45 in sales. I made a shipping profit of $18.20. Fees were $32.81, giving me a total profit of $130.84. And my average sales price for each item that sold was $14.55. And now moving on to my total numbers from September 16th through September 30th of 2023. I had 24 total sales, $357.45 in total sale dollars, $65.62 in fees. Cost of goods was pretty low this time at $57.11, giving me a net profit of $234.72. And my average cost of goods for each item that sold was $2.38. Well, that concludes another What Sold video. I really hope the next video I have more sales to report, but of course there are no guarantees. I hope that you all are doing well. Let me know how your sales are going, if they've picked up in September or if they're still just as flat as can be. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye!